Alright guys, in this video we're going to be talking about the upcoming PlayStation Showcase that is currently scheduled for September 9th. We talked a little bit about this yesterday where I let you guys know about the announcement of the event itself, and for a couple minutes I let you know some of my expectations, and I think my expectations are relatively tame and relatively realistic, where I said I, at the very least, expect to see some more Horizon Forbidden West. I expect to see maybe some more Gran Turismo 7 and maybe a proper God of War reveal. And it seems that many of you agreed with that, saying, yeah, I could see all of those things realistically happening. But I did also ask you guys to leave your thoughts down in the comments below, letting me know what your expectations are, what some of the games are that you hope to see or to be revealed, or what you would just, like to see show up in some capacity. And it was really fun reading over everybody's comments, letting me know what they want to see, and it kind of got me really excited. And I started to think to myself, uh-oh, should I calm down a little bit? Should I maybe just temper my expectations and not get that excited so that way I don't end up disappointed? I mean, people say it all the time, right? Like, keep your expectations low. They're always out here quoting Kratos saying, keep your expectations low, boy, and you'll never be disappointed. And I totally understand that. I'm sure everybody's had their fair share of disappointment when it comes to shows like this. But in my opinion, I think it's usually a safe bet to be excited and have your expectations at least above average, right? Like a little bit higher than just, in the middle when it comes to PlayStation events. Sony does a really good job. They seem to have a good understanding these days of what people are expecting when they tune into these big events. They have their dedicated state of plays for indies and smaller titles, and they always are sure to set expectations. But what I want to do in this video is go over some comments that were made by some individuals that I believe are worth paying attention to, because what they seem to be conveying, in my opinion, and the way I'm perceiving it, is, oh yeah, some big things are about to go down during this PlayStation event. And while I don't want to get anybody's expectations too high, I'm only speaking for myself here, and you can take this for what it is and make of it what you will. I feel like I have to say that. By the way, if you haven't already, please hit the like button on this video to help it out. And if you are new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button as well. But the first individual I'm going to be pointing out is Hasnul Hadi. Hopefully I'm saying his name correctly. He is the head of PlayStation Studios Malaysia. So this is somebody internally at Sony who is letting us know not exactly what to expect, but they seem to be conveying something. They're trying to let us know something. He takes to Twitter and he quote tweets the announcement that was made on the official PlayStation Twitter of this event, and he says, "Be prepared, be very prepared. Patience has its rewards. Hashtag play has no limits." Now, a lot of people caught on to this tweet and they're like, oh, like this is somebody within Sony, so he must have a pretty good idea of what's about to go down, right? I think that's a safe assumption, to assume that the head of PlayStation Studios Malaysia pretty much knows everything, or at least some of the things that are going to be revealed at this event, and he's letting us know, hey, we know you guys have been waiting, you've been patient, and you're going to be rewarded for that. He's not telling us to just be prepared, but to be very prepared, and the way that's translating in my head is be excited, be very excited, be prepared to basically be blown away. Now, if that's not enough for you to, feel excited, I understand. It is just one tweet from one individual, so I can understand if you're on the fence and you're like, yeah, that's nice and I appreciate it, but it's just one person. But we're going to move on and talk about another individual that I think would be considered credible, that being Andy Robinson of VGC. And he quote tweets the VGC article that talks about the upcoming PlayStation Showcase, letting us know what Sony's saying about it. And he says, "I've been told there are some super announcements in this." Now, this is the second individual who is seemingly hyping up this event, who is seemingly in the loop and has an idea of what's going to be, in this event. Now, he doesn't make it clear whether or not he knows exactly what these announcements are, or if that's all it is. He's just been told that there's going to be some big announcements. But either way, that's kind of what we're starting to see here. I'm starting to see a pattern where anybody who seems to get close to knowing what's in this event and what it's going to entail, they all seem to be sharing this same sentiment, that being that this is going to be a big event, that there's going to be some huge announcements, some shock announcements potentially, and some bomb drops by Sony. Now, I do want to say that when we talk about this, I know a lot of people are jumping to certain conclusions, and it's hard not to. You know, you think about all of the Silent Hill rumors, you think about all of the Metal Gear Solid Remake rumors, and all these other games that could possibly be there, like maybe SOCOM, maybe this is where we'll see the Factions 2 or the Factions multiplayer game from Naughty Dog. Maybe we'll see something well beyond that just nobody was expecting, but it's going to be huge. I think it's totally fair at this point when reading this stuff to kind of let your mind go in that direction, because I feel like God of War is somewhat expected, right? Don't get me wrong, God of War is going to be massive, and it's going to, like, to me, that would be more than enough. But I just get this feeling that there's going to be a little bit more than that, maybe a lot more than that. But anyway, if you're still not convinced, if you're like, okay, so this is what Andy Robinson's saying, that's nice, but he's not sharing any details, so I'm just going to, you know, still keep my expectations in check, maybe still keep them relatively low. Again, totally understandable. The point of this video is not to convince you to have high expectations, but I'm just pointing this stuff out to let you know why I have very high expectations now, and I'm allowing myself to get hyped, and why I think it would be okay for you to do so as well. We're moving on to the next individual, who is known as Special Nick on Twitter. He is a relatively reliable insider, and one of the only seemingly reliable insiders when it comes to anything relating to PlayStation. He has been correct about a few things so far, and he's very open about it. He's not trying to make it come off all secretive. He pretty much just lets you know that he has some people he's talking to, and this is what they're telling him, and he trusts these sources. And again, he has been correct a few times, which is why I feel confident and comfortable talking about what he's saying. So over on Twitter, he talks about how he was receiving some DMs about the possibility of Sony doing something in September, but he wasn't totally sure. He wanted to get further confirmation. Obviously, that's not needed at this point in time. We know for a fact that Sony's doing something in September. They announced it themselves, but he shared a DM that he had with his source, a exchange he had with his source, where he says to his source, just checking again, God of War going to be there, and he censors out the name of this source for obvious reasons, and the source tells him yes. Now, I want to make it clear that to me, this is not a shocking revelation, right? Like, this is not a shocking thing. I appreciate him putting this out here. He's essentially just confirming what everybody was already thinking, which is, well, surely we're going to see God of War this time, right? And the answer is yes, and I don't want to downplay that and make it sound like, oh, well, you know, just because we're expecting it, that means it makes it any less exciting. Absolutely not. I think God of War is going to bring the house down, man. I think that that's going to be the thing that makes the show potentially, but I just wanted to share this with you because I did see some people saying, like, what if Sony doesn't show God of War? I honestly think at this point in time, people would, understandably so, be disappointed if we didn't see God of War, if God of War just didn't show up. I feel like the time has certainly come where it's like, let's see Kratos and Atreus again. Let's see what this sequel is going to be like, what it's going to look like. I think we're more than ready at this point. But Special Nick also shares something else, and he shared this about 4 hours ago as of the time of this recording. And again, he seems to be, you know, if he's basically saying that if what he's hearing is true, and the way I'm reading this, I could be interpreting it wrong, but the way I'm reading it is he makes it seem like if the things he's being told are actually true, this is going to be like a big show, like a big deal. Again, it just kind of falls in line with what these other individuals are saying. And so he says, because I really can't be bothered replying to all the DMs I'm getting, I'm trying to find out more about the show. There's a couple of things I'm hearing that I want to get confirmation on before I say anything. But if they are true, ... and that last part there, but if they are true, that's the part that really, you know, interests me, because the way I'm reading that, you know, coupled with this, you know, GIF he's putting out here, it makes me feel like if what he's trying to convey is that if these games or these announcements and reveals that he's being told about are true, they're gonna be massive. Like, they're like monumental reveals and announcements. I could be reading that wrong. He could be meaning that in the other direction, where it's like they're not going to be exciting. But I look at what he's saying and I compare it to what others are saying. It's looking pretty good, guys. I gotta say, it's looking pretty good. It's getting really difficult to not feel really hyped about this event. But I'm going to close it out with a good old Kojima tweet. Actually, a couple of Hideo Kojima tweets, because there's just, he's been very active on Twitter. I feel like he's always active on Twitter, but maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just paying more attention now, but he seems to be more active than usual on Twitter. So 10 hours ago, as of the time of this recording, he put out this interesting tweet where I think some people were taking this as like he's having some health issues. And so I just want to make it known that I hope Kojima is in good health, obviously. I wish him good health and I hope everything's okay. I do want to say that I'm not reading this tweet like that. I think he's talking more about his nerves, like he's anxious for something, like he's waiting for something, and it's making it difficult for him. So he says, I had a shocking experience last night and couldn't sleep at night. I felt like I was going to explode. So I changed my clothes and did some exercises to calm down. I couldn't do much exercise though, as my right elbow was hurting. Will I be able to keep myself calm? And he posts a picture of himself standing upright in his athletic, I guess, workout clothes. And maybe it's just me, but I'm reading this as like something is clearly on his mind. And I feel like we can all relate to this, right? Like where you have like a big thing happening soon and it just kind of keeps you up at night. It makes it difficult to sleep. You're just kind of counting down the hours like for it to actually get here and to happen. That's kind of how I'm reading this. And I find it interesting because there's been all of these rumors about Kojima and Sony, and you guys already know. I don't need to rehash it. You already know. I just have to wonder, like, what exactly is Kojima feeling so anxious about? Surely it can't just be the Death Stranding launch trailer. Maybe it is. But speaking of that, and this is where I'm going to end the video, about 2 hours ago, Hideo Kojima did confirm that the Death Stranding Director's Cut final trailer that he has made it clear by now, abundantly clear, that he edited himself, is actually going to be released the day before PlayStation's event, which I find interesting because I think most of us, including myself, were expecting this trailer to be revealed at the event. Turns out it's not. So he says the release date of Death Stranding Director's Cut final trailer has been set. The handmade trailer, recorded in PS5 wide mode, will be released on September 8th, and he gives the times at which it's going to be released on the Kojima Productions YouTube channel. Please watch it with a sound environment if possible. And so, yeah, this is very interesting to me because he's very, very passionate about this trailer that he edited. I'm not going to lie, even as somebody who has fully completed Death Stranding and I did everything in the game that I could possibly do, I'm very much interested to see, what all this big deal he's making out of this trailer. He's cares about it very much. I'm certainly going to check it out. I don't know, man. I don't know. Things seem to be lining up in a certain way here, and I don't want to jump to any conclusions, but the conclusion I am going to come to is that I am hyped, and I'm okay feeling hyped. I don't know that I'm expecting my wildest dreams to come true with this PlayStation event, but I will say that, I went from just kind of feeling like, okay, this is going to be extremely exciting, this is going to be a great event, to after seeing the way people are talking about it, people who seem to be in the loop and seeing these, I don't know, the way Kojima's talking on Twitter, I don't know, man. Is this it? Is this it? I don't know. I'm going to leave it at that. I'll let you guys decide for yourselves. Let me know down in the comments below what you think about everything we discussed here in the video. Be sure to leave it a like if you enjoyed it, subscribe to the channel if you're new, hit the bell notification icon, and feel free to share this video out on top of all that. But until next time, guys, take care.